I grew up surrounded by luxury weekend getaways in Aspen. Designer handbags for my 16th birthday. A brand new Lexus when I got my license. My father built a real estate empire from the ground up, and my mother, an old money socialite, spent her days throwing fundraisers and playing tennis at the country club. I never knew what struggle felt like. And then there's Ethan. Ethan grew up in a world so different from mine. It might as well have been another planet. His mom worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on, and his dad, well, his dad was never really in the picture. He tells stories about eating ramen for dinner 6 nights a week, about wearing the same pair of sneakers until the soles gave out. He worked his way through college, scraping by with student loans and odd jobs. And even now, as an adult, he's still catching up. I don't care about any of that. I love him, but love doesn't change reality. Ethan never takes me out. He doesn't buy me gifts, not even small things like flowers or coffee. He insists it's because he's saving, because he doesn't want to waste money on things that don't matter. He calls it being responsible. I tell myself it doesn't bother me, that I don't need those things, except sometimes. I do when my friends' boyfriends surprise them with weekend trips or spoil them with little luxuries. I pretend I don't care. When they talk about romantic dinners and jewelry, I nod along, like I'm perfectly happy. But inside, there's this small, nagging ache. A voice whispering, why don't you deserve that too? I tell myself that Ethan loves me in his own way. That he shows it through his loyalty, his patience, the way he listens. And he does. But sometimes I crave something more. He works hard. I see how much effort he puts into everything he does. But no matter how hard he tries, it feels like he's always just barely keeping his head above water. His job pays okay, but it's not great. Some months he talks about cutting back, about how groceries and rent and gas are piling up. It breaks my heart. That's why I do what I do. If he knew, he would leave me. I know it's wrong. But sometimes I give my friends money and ask them to hire him to fix things, cars, furniture, even simple home repairs. They pretend they need his help, and they pay him with the money I secretly give them. It makes him feel like a man, like he's providing, like he's capable. And that's all I want, for him to feel secure. For him to believe he's enough. If he ever found out, he would never forgive me. I tell myself it's harmless, that I'm helping him, that it's better than watching him struggle. But every time I hand over the cash, a sick feeling knots in my stomach. Because deep down, I know this is a lie that's only getting bigger. The first time I did it, it was small. My friend Lily needed her bookshelf put together, and I knew Ethan could do it easily. She didn't have the money to spare, so I slipped her $100 bill before she even asked. Just tell him it's for the job, I said, forcing a smile. Ethan was so proud when he finished. He grinned when she handed him the cash, stuffing it into his wallet with this quiet satisfaction. That night, he took me out for ice cream, our first date in weeks. It felt like magic. Like something had shifted between us. So I did it again, and again. At first. It was innocent. I was helping, right? But the more I did it, the more tangled the lie became. I started finding excuses: broken cabinet doors, wobbly chairs, leaky faucets. It wasn't hard. Things always needed fixing. The worst part, he never suspected a thing. But I did. I felt the weight of it every time he kissed me goodnight. Every time he held my hand. Every time he told me he was glad to finally be getting ahead. I wasn't helping him. I was deceiving him. And I had no idea how to stop. I tell myself I'm doing this for him, that if I stopped, he'd just struggle more. But the guilt is starting to creep in. It happens in small moments, the way he holds up the cash after a job, shaking his head with a quiet chuckle. I can't believe people pay me for this stuff, he says. Or when he tells me, I think I'm finally getting somewhere. It's nice to not feel like I'm drowning for once. Each time, I force a smile. Each time, I swallow the sick feeling in my throat. I don't want to lie, but I don't know how to tell the truth without losing him. Then one night, everything starts to unravel. We're at dinner, nothing fancy, just a small diner near his apartment. He insisted on paying, and I let him, even though I know the $20 he's spending is from my own pocket. I was thinking, Ethan says, stirring his iced tea with his straw, maybe I should go full-time with this handyman stuff. Stomach clenches. What do you mean? I ask, keeping my voice even. He shrugs. I've been getting more jobs lately. Good money too, way better than my actual job. Maybe it's a sign. A sign? No, it's not a sign. It's a carefully constructed, Illusion. That's a big decision, I say carefully. Yeah, he says, running a hand through his hair. But I hate my job, and I actually enjoy fixing things. Plus, if business keeps growing like this, why not? Because it's not real. Because if you quit your job, you'll have nothing. I force a laugh. Maybe just see how things go a little longer before making any big moves. He nods, but I can tell he's already made up his mind, and that terrifies me. Later that night, I lie awake staring at the ceiling. This was never supposed to go this far. It was just supposed to be a little help, a little boost. But now, he's making life's decisions based on a lie I created. I need to stop. I have to find a way to undo this before it's too late. The next morning, I text Lily, Hey, don't mention anything, but I need you to cancel that job I set up. With Ethan? Lily. What? Why? I already told him about it, Just tell him something came up. Lily, are you okay? I don't answer. I can't. A few hours later, Ethan calls me. I hesitate before answering. Hey babe, he says, his voice light. So, weird thing, Lily just canceled on me. My heart hammers. Yeah, I say, trying to sound casual. Did she say why? Said something about an emergency, he replies. I don't know, just seemed kinda sudden. I grip the edge of my desk. He's suspicious. I can hear it in his voice. Things happen, I say quickly. Maybe something came up? Yeah, maybe. He pauses, but I don't know. Something feels off. I force out a laugh. You're overthinking it. Maybe, he says again, but he doesn't sound convinced. When we hang up, my hands are shaking. The walls are closing in. The next few days, Ethan seems off at first. It's subtle. A hesitation before he speaks, a glance that lingers a little too long. He's watching me, thinking. I know him well enough to see it. Then he starts asking questions. You ever think it's weird how much work I've been getting lately? We're sitting on his couch, watching TV, but I can feel his eyes on me. My stomach tightens. Weird how? I ask, forcing my voice to stay light. I don't know. It's just, suddenly, everyone I know needs something fixed. And they're all willing to pay. I shrugged. Maybe you're just getting lucky. He nods slowly, but I can tell he's not satisfied with that answer. I try to act normal, but every moment feels heavier than the last. Every time he looks at me, I wonder if he knows, if he suspects. Then, a week later, it happens. Ethan shows up at my apartment unannounced. When I open the door, his face is unreadable, but his eyes are sharp. Can I come in? He asks. I step aside, my heart hammering. He walks in, standing in the middle of my living room, like he's not sure what to do next. Then he turns to me. I need you to be honest with me, he says. His voice is calm, but there's an edge to it. My mouth goes dry. About what? He exhales sharply, running a hand through his hair. I talked to James today. James, my friend's boyfriend. One of the people I'd given money to. Panic grips my chest. What about? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Ethan studies me, searching my face. He slipped up, he says finally. Mentioned that Lily didn't actually pay me for that bookshelf job. That the money came from somewhere else. My entire body goes cold. I don't know what he meant, Ethan continues, but I have a feeling you do. The room is silent, except for the pounding of my heart. Ethan. I start, but my throat is too tight. He takes a step closer. Tell me the truth. I open my mouth, but no words come out. Because there's nothing I can say that won't shatter everything. He already knows. And the worst part, I can see it in his eyes. I've already lost him. The silence between us is suffocating. I can feel it pressing down on me, tightening around my ribs like a vice. Ethan doesn't look angry, not yet. He looks hurt, and somehow that's worse. I swallow hard. Ethan? I swallow up a hand. Just tell me the truth. His voice is steady, but I can hear the tremor underneath. Did you give them the money? I could lie. I could deny it, twist the truth, say James must have misunderstood. But what's the point? He already knows. My eyes sting. I nod. Yes. Ethan exhales sharply, like I just punched him in the gut. He takes a step back, his hands on his hips, looking anywhere but at me. How long? He asks. I hesitate. How long? He repeats, his voice harder now. I drop my gaze. A few months, he lets out a hollow laugh, shaking his head. A few months, he repeats. His jaw clenches. So every job, every dollar I thought I earned, he stops, his hands balling into fists. It was all fake. No. I say quickly, it wasn't fake. You did the work, Ethan. You earned that money. He scoffs. I earned it. Are you kidding me? His voice rises, and I flinch. You paid me like I was some kind of charity case. Like I couldn't take care of myself. Tears blur my vision. I just wanted to help. Help. He laughs again, but there's no humor in it. Do you have any idea how humiliating this is, to find out my own girlfriend didn't believe in me enough to let me stand on my own? My chest aches. It's not like that. Then what is it like? He demands. Because from where I'm standing, it looks a hell of a lot like pity. I shake my head frantically. No, Ethan, I love you. I hated seeing you struggle. I wanted you to feel secure, to feel good about yourself. He stares at me, his eyes dark with something I can't quite place. You think this makes me feel good? I open my mouth, but I don't know what to say. Ethan rubs a hand over his face, exhaling slowly. When he finally speaks, his voice is quiet. You should have trusted me, he says. You should have believed that I could handle my own life. Tears slip down my cheeks. I was scared. Of what? That you'd leave me, I whisper. That one day, you'd decide I wasn't worth it. His expression shifts just for a second. I see something break in his eyes, but it's gone. Just as quickly. Ethan shakes his head. You were so afraid of losing me that you lied to me for months. I can't breathe. I didn't mean to hurt you, but you did, he says, his voice hollow. And then, the words I've been dreading. I can't do this. My stomach drops. Ethan, please. He steps back. I need to think. I reach for him, but he pulls away. Ethan, don't go. Please. He doesn't answer. He just turns and walks out the door, leaving me standing there, broken. The moment the door closes behind him, the weight of everything crashes down on me. I sink onto the couch, my hands trembling as I cover my face. The room feels unbearably quiet, like all the air has been sucked out of it. He's gone. And I don't know if he's coming back. I want to call him, to text him, to fix this. But what can I even say? That I'm sorry. That I never meant to hurt him. That I was only trying to help. He already knows that. And it doesn't change the fact that I betrayed him. I sit there for hours, staring at nothing, replaying our conversation over and over in my head. The way his voice broke. The way his face twisted and hurt. The way he looked at me like he didn't recognize me anymore. By the time the sun rises, I still haven't slept. I force myself to go to work, but I barely make it through the day. I check my phone constantly, hoping, praying for a message from him, but there's nothing. Not even a single word. Days pass. Then a week, still nothing. Lily comes over one evening, bringing takeout and a bottle of wine. She takes one look at me and sighs, "You look awful." I let out a weak laugh. "Thanks." She sets the food down and sits beside me. "Have you heard from him?" I shake my head. "Not once." My voice cracks. "I think it's over." Lily hesitates. "You think? Maybe you should give him some space. Let him come to you." I nod, but I don't believe it. What if he never comes? What if I ruin this forever? What if he doesn't forgive me? I whisper. She squeezes my hand. Then he doesn't deserve you. But we both know that's not true. I don't deserve him. Later that night, as I lie in bed, staring at my phone, I can't take it anymore. I open our chat.me. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know that I love you. And I'm sorry. I don't expect you to forgive me, but if there's any chance we can fix this, I want to try. I hit send, and then I wait. The message sits there, unread. Hours pass, then a full day. Still nothing. Each time I check my phone, my stomach twists with dread. Maybe this is it. Maybe Ethan is done with me for good. I don't blame him. I deserve this silence. By the second day, I stop checking as often. By the third, I force myself to accept reality. He's not coming back. But then, late that night, my phone buzzes. My heart nearly stops when I see his name on the screen. "Ethan, can we talk?" My hands shake as I type back me. "Yes, please. A minute." Later, my phone rings. I answer on the first ring. "Hi," I say, my voice barely above a whisper. Ethan exhales. Hey, for a moment, neither of us speaks. There's so much to say, but I don't know where to start. I've been thinking a lot, he finally says. His voice is calm, but there's a heaviness to it, trying to make sense of everything. I swallow hard. I understand. I need to ask you something, he says. And I need you to be completely honest, okay? Was anything real? His voice cracks slightly. Or was it all just you trying to fix me? The question hits me like a punch to the gut. Ethan, everything was real, I say, my voice urgent. I love you. I never doubted us. Not for a second. He's quiet for a moment. Then why didn't you believe in me? Tears burn my eyes. I do. I was just scared. Of what? I hesitate. Of losing you? Ethan sighs. And look where we are now. Silence stretches between us. Finally, he speaks again. I don't know if I can just pretend this didn't happen. Heart clenches. I don't expect you to. I need time, he says, to figure out if I can trust you again. A lump forms in my throat. I understand. Do you? He asks quietly. Because trust is everything to me. And you broke it. Tears spill onto my cheeks. I know, and I'll do whatever it takes to fix it. He exhales sharply. I just don't know if it can be fixed. His words slice through me, but I nod, even though he can't see me. Take all the time you need. Another pause. I'll call you, he says, finally, and then the line goes dead. I stare at my phone, my heart aching. I don't know if Ethan will ever come back, but for now, all I can do is wait. That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought, or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comment side. Love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.